We'd like to bring on a friend of ours from the United States that was going to play a few songs with us, and this bloke came on. It was Jimi Hendrix.
He was the one that completely upset the apple cart amongst the guitaring fraternity in London, I know for a fact, and pretty much everywhere else.
Hendrix toured in soul bands, so he really knew soul music, like dance music. He understood like what made people move.
Jimi Hendrix was a hell of an entertainer, but he was competition Little Richard. And you don't go on the stage with Little Richard and outdo Little Richard. Little Richard got rid of him. He was a genius. He's very technical on the guitar.
He was influenced by people, but because it went through his brain, it was filtered through his mind, it sounded like him.
And he was doing all this stuff with his teeth and behind his head and all of that. And I was just like, oh.
It taught us that you've got to loosen up the teeth and the back behind the head. We wouldn't dream of doing that. Can you imagine if Eric and I had done this at the time? They would have thrown at us, you know. His appearance was also outrageous. I mean, he had an afro which was sort of out of control. His clothes were out of control, sexy as well. I mean, all the ingredients needed were there. He had it all. He had fantastic technique, which no one can really get hold of.
He's such a historically aware musician. So he knows the masters, the three kings, as you call them, Albert, Freddie, and Bibi, you know. But he's also a psychedelic hippie, and he understands the whole world of record making as this world of enormous possibility.
Jimi Hendrix was the greatest electric guitar player I've ever seen or heard or had the great privilege of recording. For about 2 weeks, we were experimenting with stereo phasing, which had never been done before. We said, Jimmy, come in, we've got something we want to play you. So Jimmy comes in and we start playing the middle part of Axis Boulder's Love, where the drums come in and it goes, and the phasing kicks in. He grabbed his head in his hands, oh my God, I can't believe you. How did you do that? That was in my dream. I want that on everything, man. So every day we were trying new things. Heavy compression, weird types of EQ, backwards tapes.
These albums like Electric Ladyland are kind of sonic fantasies. They are worlds unto themselves that could never actually exist in real life. I don't think there was any artist exactly like Jimi Hendrix who could use his guitar to mold and sculpt time and space, and just through his guitar performance could give you a complete essay on what the 60s were like, on what it was like to be an African-American man who was working in multiple genres, who was living in between certain intersections of identity. When you hear Jimi Hendrix play guitar, it's Jimi Hendrix's voice screaming through the instrument. He radicalized the use and the form and the point of what the guitar was. And so everybody started thinking, what can I do with a musical instrument? In large part because of the Beatles and what they were doing with using Eastern instruments and so on, but also I think you have to credit Jimi Hendrix for changing the game.